authentically. Okay, let me say Happy New Year and thank you very much everyone for joining us for this section, and then thanks to everyone who also joined us during the last year's section, which was leading the young leading leadership, and this time we're going to be talking about leading authentically. And the motive behind this topic is very simple. We can lead and we have flaws as humans, we have shortcomings as humans, and I think we should learn to live with them and actually show forth ourselves, not show forth our flaws, because our flaws will eventually show forth itself in the process of becoming who we really truly meant to be. So we're going to be having leaders from various sectors to speak on these topics and dynamically in different ways, and would addressing and help young leaders and myself as well be better leaders. Thank you so much. So we're going to actually add Mr. Ken. So we had some feedback last year about the fact that we don't want to be reading the profile. Yeah, so we're going to read the profile before we begin. So let's post the profile. So thanks everyone for joining, and then okay, we're going to be adding Mr. Ken, and we're going to begin right away. And I'm trusting that we would actually have great sections this year. I'm trusting that we'll have renewed mindset, we'll become better leaders in wherever sectors we find ourselves, and yeah, thank you very much for joining once again. And okay, so let's see. Okay, come in, let me quickly do this. Okay, thank you so much for joy. Okay, very good. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. So can just join this now. Okay, so okay, very good. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Okay, so okay, let's see. So shut up. Okay, so thank you for joining. Okay, so we're gonna begin now. Okay, let's start. So we're gonna send the link to Mr. Ken. Okay. So basically that's just it. And lastly, we had a good sections. We had leaders who came from every sector, and this time we're going to be having leaders too, and to teach us really what it means to be authentic, what it means to lead authentically, and what it means to become the abundance of who we really are. That's what we really want to address. We want to address becoming ourselves in perspective of our shortcomings and our flaws. So I'm quickly going to clarify this about this topic, that the fact that we are good doesn't mean that we don't have an iota of weakness. It's at the completion of human nature to actually have weakness, not because of we really want to be created weaknesses, but that is who we are. So this team is actually going to be dealing with leading authentically. So wherever sector we find ourselves, in the political sector, places where we have had to compromise, places where we've had to do stuff that we are not really proud of, we can learn to live through them and then above them as authentic leaders. So like I said, Mr. Kent will be joining us in 1 minute, and then we're going to begin straight up. Okay, let's add him now. Okay, good. Okay, very good. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go take too much of our time. We're gonna make it quickly and then sharp, and then we're going to go. Share. Okay. Thank you, Rosie, for joining. Okay, so we quickly want to actually inform Mr. Kenny, and then he's gonna begin. Okay. 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 So, Mr. Ken is going to be joining us now, and then we will begin right away. Okay, thank you very much, sir. So I'm going to add him now, and then we will begin. Okay. Rosie, thank you very much for joining. Okay, so let's see. Sorry for the delay, Mr. Ken is going to join us right now. He's going to join us right away. Okay. 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 Good. Okay. Very good. Okay.
Hello, sir. It is, sir.
Hi, Miracle. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Ken. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. And I'm also so sorry for disturbing you since last year trying to get you on. Thank you
Thanks,
very much, sir.
thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I think without wasting too much of our time, this is Mr. Ken, and I will be speaking on the hope of quality leadership in Africa. And one of the reasons why I decided to give the topic to Mr. Ken was because of I see Mr. Ken sort of like a link between the older generation and the new generation. So in this young generation, we always feel like there's no hope for us because of the shortcomings of our older leaders. But I feel that there is hope for Africa and there's hope for a system of leadership here. So I said, let's have Mr. Ken to speak to us on this topic. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Miracle. Very quickly, I would say that I'll consider myself a young person, but not the same age with you. Well, and I I do I do really believe that there is hope for our continent, especially because of the demographics, the young people. And that's where I want to anchor my very brief. I know it gave me longer time, but I'd rather we have more conversation rather than just talk. So I'll just maybe the next few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, I'll just say a few things, and then I'll be more comfortable with you asking the questions, and then we can discuss the issue of leadership and where young people can fit in. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay.
thank All right, so I'll go straight. It's not a speech; it's an evening. Good evening, everyone. For those who are here and those who will find later, so I will watch it later. But quickly, Miracle asked me to talk about the hope of leadership or quality leadership in Africa, and I don't want to bore you with the academic definition of leadership. Some people will tell you leadership is influence. It's correct. Leadership making people get things done, mobilizing others to achieve a certain objective. It's all correct. But I rather want to think about the hope of leadership in Africa and who this hope rests on. The hope of leadership, the hope of the continent rests squarely on our young people. I think that's very important to start with. And I'll begin by saying that our continent is faced with very onerous challenges, very strong challenges. The issues still stare us in the face. Issues of poverty. Africa, unfortunately, is one of the poorest continents in the world. It's sad, but it is true. There's still so much poverty. we hear up to 70% of the global poor is in developing countries, which Africa considers a major part of that. The poverty is facing us. You see it around you. Security problems. We in Nigeria, you can tell we've got the banditries and all. These are major issues that affect us as a continent. We've got unemployment issues. We've been told that 70% of the population of Africa is below the age of 30. 70% is below the age of 30. In fact, to make it very clear, 375 million young Africans would be they'll be reaching their working age. And we're talking about at least they'll be getting to 21 by 2030. 375 million, that's like putting the US and Canada together. That's two whole countries put together. These young people would need jobs, they'll need housing, they'll need security, they'll need all of the issues that, and the jobs are not there. The jobs are not there. These are legitimate challenges. We've got issues about elections. Our elections are not very credible as we should think they should be. We've got issues around healthcare. We know that our leaders mostly would fly out of the continent to seek quality healthcare. That tells us we've got real problems there. If they don't have faith in the healthcare, it means that there's a lot. Judicial system, problems with judicial systems, problems of expression of our views, fundamental human rights not being respected. Our women are still not given adequate platforms to fly. Yes, comparatively, we're better than some continents, but we compete with ourselves. We have not brought enough women and young people to the table. These are all issues facing us as a continent. We've got issues around integration, interconnectedness. I'm privileged to be able to travel from time to time. And you find that sometimes it's easier to come to Europe than to fly from Lagos or from Abuja to another African country. The other day, I had to go to Burundi. It took me longer hours to get to Burundi than it would take me to get to London. So these issues, we've got several. I don't want to go about listing them. Then the other part is the global geopolitics, the global competitions around. Our young people today don't only compete with themselves. So we're talking about unemployment. It's not just within Africa. They now have to compete with young people from India, young people from Singapore. So it's a virtual world today. When there's a job opportunity, those who compete for that job are not just those within your locality. There are people across the globe. These are real problems. Africa, we've talked about infrastructure deficit, we've got energy deficits, we've got lots of, but the beautiful part of it is that all of these challenges, all of these problems are actually opportunities in disguise.
Wow.
The opportunities for our young people to rise up and begin to claim their place, to think differently, to act differently. The problems are not problems of themselves. They are opportunities, especially for our young people, to rise. That's how we should begin to think about them. And that's where the element of hope comes in. That's where hope comes in. Our markets, we've got the market in Africa, we've got tremendous opportunities. So these challenges that we've identified as challenges, when others come, what they see are opportunities. So these challenges, those challenges are actually opportunities for us. That's the mindset. Challenges are a call to step up, a call to think differently, a call to produce results. And that's where there is hope. Hope for us, hope for the young people. Africa is the youngest continent. That means that we are the most virile, most strong continent. It means that we've got longer. The people around in Africa today are likely going to be around for the next 60, 70 years. Whereas that's not the case in Europe, that's not the case in the Americas. That represents tremendous opportunity. That's the thinking. So what should we do differently as young people? We've seen the challenge, but we don't want to see the challenges as an end in itself. We see those challenges as opportunities, opportunities for us to rise, opportunities for us to make a difference, opportunities for us to touch our communities and also carve our own names in gold. Yeah. So for me, the key would be, I know I said 5 minutes, I'm taking more than 5 minutes. I'll wrap up quickly so you can ask the question. Number one, we should begin to lead ourselves, leading oneself. Leadership, don't start by leading others, start by leading yourself. If you can lead yourself, if you can discipline yourself, if you can set the right goals for yourself and make the commitment to make it happen, then leadership has just begun for you. The journey has begun. Leading yourself. How do you lead yourself? Making a commitment to doing daily those things that will bring the change you desire. Making a personal commitment. I share with my friends, we've learned that amateurs does once in a while what professionals do every day. Professionals do daily what amateurs do once in a while. So you must lead yourself daily. You must discipline yourself daily. You must set yourself goals and commit to them daily. So leading to oneself will be key. Two, the quality of questions we begin to ask will determine the quality of answers we get. So when we say hope of leadership, resting on young people, it is for young people to ask the right questions. You know, we tell ourselves, our leaders travel abroad. What do they see? Why don't they bring them back? Well, you ask yourself, it's a global village. Every information you need is on the internet. We've been told that the knowledge available to us right now is like the cumulative knowledge that was available for the past hundreds and thousands of years. You can literally get it in 1 year. So that's tremendous opportunity for us. So what are the questions you're asking? Are you asking, why must it be Africa? No. Or are you asking, what can I do? What can I do differently? What are the ways I can start with my community? I can start with my local area. You know, what questions are we asking? You can start by thinking, like they said, think local. Act local, but think global. You need to begin to think. Your competition is not just within Africa, your competition is global. So you begin to think that way. And then be the leader your community needs. Solve problems. Leadership is actually solving problems, mobilizing people to solve problems. Young people begin to think differently. What are other young people in other climes doing? Young people in the US, how do they think? How should we think? Others in Asia, how are they thinking? And how should we be thinking? If we begin to think differently, ask the right questions, I think we'll be making the difference. And then finally, I'll say to solve problems, we need to knowledge up, we need to skill up, we need to learn up. I'm using those words, knowledge up. You need to, what you don't know, you don't know. What you won't learn, like my spiritual father would say, what you don't know, you don't know. What you won't learn, you won't know. And what you don't know, you will pay for it. You pay for it in terms of, you lose it, you pay for it because what you don't know, you just are losing. So skill up. Young people skill up. We are in an age where tremendous opportunities. There are all kinds of ebooks. Some of them are free. You can download. There are various sites where you can get all kinds of materials. Now, what used to be exclusive education, those days, you see somebody who went to the US, you say B.A. Hans Atlanta, B.A. Hans New York. Now, you've got some of the best quality of education. You can literally get it free of charge online. So what are you doing with your time? How are you engaging yourself to solve problems, to change the continent, to make a difference? You need to skill up. You need to learn more. You need to knowledge up, and then apply what you've learned in your own local area and begin to grow. Start by acting local, but think global, because the world is your oyster. All right, so I'll stop there and allow you to ask. We can go into a short conversation.
Wow. Thank you so much. So can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ken. I'm very grateful. And I think this section is very short and it's very powerful. So, which is actually good in a dispensation like this, actually. So, I like the one of the points which you made was the quality of questions to ask determines the quality of answers we get. And I think that's one of the things I actually rest upon, actually. So, one of the questions I want to ask, which is pertaining to young people, and I believe it's something that's affecting us as a whole, and which I've also discovered as well. What kind of virtue should we emulate? Somehow, Africa, let me use Nigeria as an example. We have skillful leaders and somehow authentic in the sense that their greedy desires come in the way of development in Africa and Nigeria as a whole. How do young people carve out their own way? In as much as they want to carve out their own way, since they work the true path, we can't as well remove them because of they are like our leaders. So how do we differentiate how to take what is good and how to drop what is bad? And how do we come to a point where we let them know so we can't do what is wrong because of this is what we believe?
Okay. I believe I got you. I got you to mean that you're asking how do you differentiate yourself? How do you stand out from the crowd? You know,
Yes,
we've got good leaders. Now I run the African Leadership Magazine, the African Leadership Organization, and one of the things we've done is to consistently over the years said that we've continued to say that Africa is not just the negative stereotypes we read about in the international media. So you on the major news media, if there are 10 stories about Africa on their platform, likely 7 to 8 to 9 will be negative stories. And they gradually were defining us by those negative stories. And we say, yes, we recognize these stories exist in Africa just like they exist everywhere else. I've been to the US, there are a few places not far from the White House that do not have power. I have seen it for myself. But they don't dwell on those parts. They dwell on the issues we've got. There are homeless people, there are drug addicts on the street, there is crime everywhere, just like we have. These challenges are not peculiar to Africa. They are everywhere. However, what we've said is that yes, the challenges exist, but more than the challenges, there are a few, maybe not many, but few role models who continue to impact and show the way for young people. So in Africa, I challenge no young person can truly grow and go far without the place of mentors. So while you seek differentiation, you must start by seeking mentors, men, women who exemplify what you want to be and the kind of impact you want to make. There are lots of them. I have a mentor who is African. I've read about others, people like Strive Masiyiwa, people like Tony Elumelu. These are business people, these are leaders. Even in politics, there are leaders who stand up. In policy, we've got people like Dr. Adeshina of the African Development Bank. These are men who have risen above board. Even when there were attacks around them, various panels cleared them that no, this one is different. So that tells us that there are leaders in Africa that young people can emulate. So that's my call. Don't ride it alone. Look for mentors, ride on their shoulders, and you'll go further than you expected.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, sir, the other question I want to ask is you've worked so hard and you're the founder, you're running African leadership. What are the set of values that you think young Africans should emulate in such a time as this? Such a time, such a season like we're facing even in Nigeria, which I believe globally we're also facing as well. What sort of values and virtues do you think we should actually emulate?
All right, so we know COVID-19 has been around for almost 2 years now. It's ravaged whole economies. It's messed up entire livelihoods. People have passed through all kinds. Yet, at the same time, lots of people have thrived and survived and done very well. So one of the key traits or values that I would think young people in Africa should embrace is the determination to skill up. I said it before, I'm saying it again. If don't, there are newer ways of getting things done. Adaptability, if you like. So things have changed. Are you going to continue in the same way you've been doing things to say, oh, this is how we've always done it? If you do it the way you've always done it, you would not go anywhere. So you need to be adaptable. You need to be ready to skill up, to learn new skills, learn new ways of doing things. Be willing and humble enough to drop your old ways. You just have to. That adaptability will be key in a time like this. And like I said, it's a time to have a startup mentality. It's a reboot mode, reset mode, if you like. In times like this, when there are lots of upheavals, it's the time to go back to the basics and say, okay, let's start from first principles. What are my fundamental values? What are my fundamental building blocks? What are the things I hold there? And build from there. So you need to go back to your basics. You need to be adaptable, and you need to be willing to break out of what you used to be. It can't be business as usual. Things need to change. Again, COVID has shown us the fractures within society, the inequalities, that it's shown us all of the weaknesses. That should give you cause for food for thought. How are you going to take advantage of what you've learned? Would you going to continue? It can't be business as usual. You need to change the way you've done things. Even for us, as in our business, we are changing the way we do things. We are improving. We are leveraging certain things we never used to think about, and that's the way. We've dropped some of the things we used to do, and we're embracing new ones. You must be willing to be adaptable.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we have two last questions, and then we're going to come to an end of the section. So the first question is, the theme for this year is living authentically, and would like to ask you, we have issues, we have flaws as humans. How do we learn to walk through our flaws? How do we learn to walk through our weaknesses as leaders in wherever sectors we find ourselves? And even as young people, how do we learn to live with the fact that we can make mistakes? How do we learn to live with the fact that it is okay, we can make mistakes and have flaws? How do we learn to really walk through it?
Okay, so I would start by saying there are no perfect beings, no perfect institutions, no perfect humans anywhere. So a perfection is an aspiration. For me, I think it's an endless aspiration. An aspiration we should pursue all the same. However, excellence is possible. You may not be perfect, but you could commit yourself to a life of the best possible per time. So when I was 20 years old, there was certain ways I do things. I made sure I did my very best for my level per time. What is possible now? What are the knowledge that's accessible to me? What skills do I have? Am I producing the best possible version of me? So don't accept your flaws as a destination. Your flaws are just a pointer to where you need to work on, where you need to improve. Don't kill yourself. Don't crucify yourself because of your flaws, of course, because there are no perfect beings. But do not accept mediocrity. Don't accept mediocrity. Push for excellence. Push for the best possible version of yourself. Walk and stretch. It doesn't kill. It just refines. And very soon you will okay. So there are no perfections, but you can aspire to excellence.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Ken. I'm very grateful. And the last question is this. Last question is, which we ask every leader, is together actually. As you've come this far in your life, it's so much. You've built a system and legacy. Even when you leave, others will come and see. What advice would you give to young people? What is that present in your heart and your heart that you always think that you wish you could do for young people, you want young people to know at such a time as this?
Well, thanks again. There's several things. It takes lots of ingredients to bake a cake, right? But there's one principle that I've always tried to live by, and I'll call it the principle of the one thing. The principle of the one thing. The human needs are insatiable, according to economists. There are several things we're looking for and will continue to look for. However, per time, there is the one thing that if you pursue and achieve, it makes every other thing either irrelevant or achieved already in the process. So I'll close with that proverb that was said about the wise king who had very wise servants, and then and also had a son. So he told the son, "Well, I'm about to die. I'm going to leave all of my goods to the servant. However, you have the privilege as my son to pick one thing out of everything. I've got lands, I've got houses, I've got gold, I've got silver, I've got everything you got. However, I want you to choose one. And I'll choose the best you like, choose whatever you like. You've got the privilege of choosing the first one. And when you've chosen, everything left is going to belong to my servant, who has been my slave and my servant for the years. It's my way of rewarding his honesty, his loyalty, his hard work." And the son took time and thought it through and found that, okay, what am I going to choose? If I choose the gold, it means all the land or the houses and the silver. If I choose the land or the gold or the houses will go to the servant. And then he came to realize that, but there's one thing, if I choose, I'll have everything else. So he chose the servant.
Wow.
And by choosing the servant, everything else belonged to the servant, but the servant belonged to him. So it really ended up belonging to him. And that's the key thing. There's what to pursue. There is what to do per time. What is the most important goal of your life? If you pursue that, it will make everything either irrelevant or already achieved. Let's find what that is. It's the principle of successful CEOs. Some of them, so they just have one word. Each year they have one word. For us in our organization, it's just one word, reset. Everything we're doing, reset. Others could be scale up. Everything they are going to do this year is scale up. Others, so if you can condense your goals, your purposes, don't pursue too many things. It dissipates, you dissipate energy, and you don't make an impact. Find out the one thing that's most important to you per time, and just put all of your energy, all of your focus, everything into it, and you'll be amazed how far you will go in life.
Wow. Ken, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We're very grateful to Ken. I'm very grateful. Honestly speaking, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say a very big thank you to you. And before we let you go, for all the viewers we have presently right now, I want to just say about two thank you before he goes. Let's just say two thank you or three thank you, Mr. Ken, before we allow him to go. Thank you, Mr. Ken. I am very, very grateful. Very honored to have you. And honestly, I feel very honored to have you here. Thank you so much. So we need to thank you, and then we'll let Mr. Ken go. Please just type it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And then we'll let him go. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting. Just two. Just two. Very good. No, I want to. Let's say thank you. Okay, to thank you, please. I'm waiting to thank you. But getting any. Okay. I think Instagram is taking time to drop that. If we don't get to that in second go, actually. Let's see. Let's just wait for a while, sir. So sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm still getting to have two people. Just to thank you. So thank you. We're not getting it. Are you guys okay? Very good. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to second go. I think it's not company. Thank you so much, sir. We're very grateful.
Thank you, Miracle. Thank you. And I wish you the best.
Thanks. Okay, sir. Bye, sir.
All right, bye.